Corona. We should talk everything.
Yeah, I actually have that. I have that as a bullet point actually at the end
For the
of the gold.
coronavirus? We're get
I have that. I actually have that. Actually, after all my gold notes, I said, okay, we're going to talk Corona at some point since it's a
Yeah,
trending
absolutely. You
topic.
got to hit that trend.
Yeah. There we go. So I said, okay, I got the
Yeah.
notification.
Oh, dope. You got it. Cool. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're live,
Huh.
and we don't have to stick to your game plan. It's tough because I want to like try look at the comments and shit and answer questions, but people ask some fucking off the wall questions that have nothing to do with the topic, and it's like, yo, we
Yeah, exactly.
can't get to.
They might have to,
I
sit this
know.
one out today.
I know. All right. Well, um, shit, should have thrown coronavirus in the title in for that SEO. I might even still do it. Like BT Dubs coronavirus. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it, coronavirus.
For real, get them clicks, get that like.
Art Campo, Smith, Salavi, how you guys doing? We got Alec. You guys, the man, the legend, Alchemy of Life, who's been following the channel and amongst the squad in the chat room many a times, is now on the live with us. Don't know if many of you guys know, but he makes his own colloidal gold, which I have some, by the way. You guys can see that I have some of his colloidal gold. And thanks for that fucking note you sent me too, man. That was really nice of you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, thank you. My, I'm always attach a
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
note.
I meant to message you
That's
back and thank you for that, but I forgot, so my bad. But thanks, man. That was, I showed it to my girl too. She was like, "Oh man, that was fucking hella sweet of him to do that."
yeah, how's that gold been treating you so far? Like, have you noticed anything?
Physically, no. I mean, it's hard to tell, man. I mean, I've noticed changes in the past couple days, but it's like, it's just a weird air right now with the coronavirus and everything's being shut down, and it's like,
Yeah,
it's just like whenever there's like a catastrophe, there's like a change in the wind. You know what I mean? That you can kind of sense. So it's like
yeah,
there's definitely been a change in perception. Like my dreams are a little more. My dreams have been changing. My dreams are
yeah.
different for sure. There's different quality to my dream. I'm a little more on the positive side with my dreams instead of the negative side, which is nice. Um,
That's what I touch on too with the dreams. Like, I noticed iridium and gold. Like, if you take those together and like with some more tea, your dreams are gonna be
really?
off the wall. Like, yeah, gold gives you that vivid dream to where you can actually smell being there and like feel being there. Like, if you're afraid, you're really
Oh
gonna
shit.
be afraid. And like iridium, iridium gives you that movie like feel. Like I'm there. I can recall my dreams. Every little
Yeah.
detail. So you might like I'm gonna try taking them together and get some iridium because I don't have. I'm not. I don't have any supply
I
of
was
that
just
at the
about to
moment.
say,
But
man, where the hell did you come up on iridium? You
I
got.
know some places. I know some places that
Oh,
got
now
the gold.
you got the plug on iridium.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I'm gonna take it from the top of my list, and if we stray off, then we stray
Oh,
off.
nice.
For anybody who doesn't, for anybody who doesn't know about colloidal gold, I'm gonna start with like making it. So like making colloidal gold, it requires at least the general process. It requires electricity. It requires high voltage to the point where if you touch a certain type of load the wrong way, it can actually kill you. So it takes precaution, as it's laboratory alchemy. So as Dennis William Huck said, laboratory alchemy, it's really it's really for meditation. It teaches you how to meditate because you have to be really careful and really still. When you're messing with volatile compounds and electricity and different things like that.
All right. So if you don't mind,
And
I'm gonna try to. I might interrupt you a couple times just to like if there's like questions that come up that are super useful to what we're talking about at the time, so we don't pass like juicy stuff up. Um.
yeah,
So there's already been one, which is what does colloidal mean? And I know, and I got it wrong. I called in the description, I called it monatomic gold, assuming it was the same thing, just to try to spice it up, but it's not. So what is colloidal gold, and how is it different from monoatomic gold? How do you make it?
Okay, colloidal gold. The word colloidal means suspended or suspension. So the nanoparticles are being of whatever metal you're using in the color, it's been suspended, versus monatomic gold, which is utilizing that metal through like salts. So like pink Himalayan salt and sea salt have, if you've ever bought any and you look on the description, it tells you what trace minerals
Yeah,
that are
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So they try to isolate that metal through salts and other different processes. I haven't really dabbled in the research of monatomics, but I've kind of got a hold on it. Like I was really into it for a couple years, but then I kind of went the colloidal route. But they kind of effect wise kind of do the same thing. They're
Why
just
did you
different
go to colloidal
processes.
over monoatomic?
Colloidal, because it deals with that metal directly, as to indirect here. So you get a higher concentration over here with of that
Where
metal
does
per
Ormus
se.
come in with that? Because
You're
I used to come across Ormus when I was researching monoatomic gold, and I came across that before colloidal.
Ormus, like, see now, Ormus is more of on the higher alchemy of monatomic, like monatomic Ormus. So it's like when you take it to the lab, monatomic to the laboratory, and you're really doing your thing, and you're really into that process. Ormus comes out of that. It's like a higher form of
Okay.
monatomics. From what I've researched, from what I have come across, Ormus is a better version of monatomics. So you'll see things labeled monatomic Ormus, this or that, trying to mimic that, but it's all almost getting the same effect. You get a better effect with colloidal gold, or a colloid, than you would using the salt from a monatomic or an Ormus.
All right. Damn, there's like 1,000 things I want to ask you all at once. I guess we're buffering right now. Are we buffering? Ah, bummer. We might have. We might have. My screen is showing good so far. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. I don't know if you have any other things running at your house right now. Like if you're on the Wi-Fi right now, if you can shut off all the other Wi-Fi's at
Yeah,
your
I'm on
house and
Wi-Fi.
just use yours. I don't know if you can, but if you can, just to free up space on the Mine seems to be good. I'm not freezing when I pull up the video on my phone though. Oh no. Can you hear me? All right, everybody, sit tight. We're gonna get the homie Alchemy back in on the video. We lost him. We lost him. No, this is such a juicy topic too. Oh, you there?
Back better.
Where are you? Hey, I can hear you, but I can't see you. No. No. The man trying to keep us down. Alchemy froze. Yeah, I see. Alchemy, turn your Wi-Fi back on. I meant to say I meant to say disconnect all the other devices from the Wi-Fi, not yours. I'm not sure if you stopped yours. Damn it. All right, you guys. I'm gonna end the Skype call with him and hopefully be able to start it back up mid-live without having to end this. So I just hung up with him. I'm gonna call him again. Shut off the NDI source. Always trying to sab. Oh, what do you mean Joe ain't online? Joe, come back online. No, I don't want to restart. We can restart, but I don't think I have to restart. I You think I would get it? By the way, shout out Corona. my brother. We'll just chat amongst the squad until Alchemy gets back. My brother is King Schmooze, and he went to the liquor store yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, did we get a discount? Did we get a disc? Jesus." So we get a discount on the coronavirus, on the Corona beers because the virus, and she's all, just for you, yeah. And so we got hooked up on a 24-pack of Corona. Ain't no coronavirus here. All right, hold on.
All right, okay, we all good?
What happened, brother?
I don't know. I'm disconnecting my mic. So hopefully that does it.
It should. Let me see. I got the video's still up, but I had to end the plug because we hung up. But let's see if I can get you back up in the same.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know enough about technology to keep it from crashing, but I know enough about technology to. Hey, could you do me a favor? Move to your left.
Okay. Yeah.
In the screen. A little more. No, you can keep the camera where it is, but you move to the left. I'm trying to get you and me in the same picture at the same time, but I need you to get more to your. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Ooh.
All right, everybody. Are we good? Can't stop the 200 mil squad. That's right, MCQ.
100 mil hashtag. Let's go.
I know.
500 if we can get it.
500 if we can get it. Why stop? But keep it 9. New World Order squad.
Yeah.
All right, you're back live and we can hear you. And I guess they didn't hear your colloidal. So difference between colloidal, but paraphrase colloidal and monatomic. What's the difference?
Okay, so colloidal means suspended or suspension. So colloidal gold is gold that nanoparticles that are suspended in purified water, as monatomics generally use gold proteins, gold salts, versus the particles of the actual element. The colloidal used not only is the suspension of the element, but it uses the element directly. And monatomics generally deal with the element indirectly and try to isolate it and pump it up to get the effect of that one, of gold or whatever. Like salts or Himalayan sea salts, they're known to have high traces of trace minerals like gold in them. So that's what monatomics generally use, and Ormus will take that science further. Okay. Is it we good now? Okay. Alrighty. I would say with colloidal, because I've never taken the monatomics, it's got to be because having the element in itself. the element. Monatomics pumps up that element so to get the effect. So it has to do with the metal. I would say like gold is great for dreams. Research I haven't done yet, but it's always open. There's always more research to do. Like that's what I love about knowledge.
I had to unplug it, Dad, because I needed the cord for my computer. Sorry about that, brother. My dad rolled up right now. No, I'm on a live right now. Apparently,
But
we're getting some audio issues from my end and from your end. It seems like I don't know what's.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we used Skype last time though. Skype went good last time, and I used Zoom, and
Yeah.
Zoom kept failing on me. They're saying that Skype is a bad platform, but um no, Google Hangouts doesn't work anymore, you guys. Google Hangouts shut down. I used to use Google Hangouts, but get it's back. It seems to be working now. So get on with dreams and colloidal gold.
Okay, so Little Gold and Dreams, like it's good. Why it has to be with the way that it's great for expanding consciousness. So in meditation, because it gets you to focus and it puts you in the moment. One thing about gold is it takes synapses of the brain and it connects them. It's bridging the gap essentially. So that has to be something, with dreams being, a mental thing, and it stimulates the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. I'm thinking it has to do something with that.
Yeah, because the gold that was the connection that I was making, was that gold has um, exceptional electromagnetic properties, and it can carry energy
Yeah.
very well without corroding. So what I was reading was that it helps the neurons fire. Right? Is that the idea behind using colloidal gold? Is it helps the neurons?
Yeah, it helps the neurons fire, and what it does is it makes you become more magnetic, almost like copper. And iridium does the same thing. It magnetizes you, and by magnetizing your blood, and at a cellular level. So the brain has blood. I imagine that's what has to do with this. Stimulating the gland, and it increases focus. And your focus or focus on something, like when we learn manifesting, the wave and the particles, they collapse.
Wait, say that last part again. The particles collapse.
Like when you're manifesting, the waves and the particles collapse the more you focus on something.
Oh, they the wave collapses into particle. You're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it collapses. And that's what gold is helping to do on a cellular level
Oh,
by helping to magnetize you.
shit! Damn, that's crazy.
So it's going to do for your vibration in your aura. It's going to put it up here.
Yeah.
It's going to expand you.
What about? I know I was looking up colloidal silver a while ago.
Mhm.
And it said that there's a lot of things you couldn't mix it with. Like you couldn't mix it with like citrus or like oranges or lemons or like healthy things that you would normally eat as a healthy person. You couldn't mix, at least while you were taking it, because it would interact somehow with the particles. Is the same thing kind of go with gold?
Probably. I'm actually going to probably look. I'm going to look that up about silver because I've never heard about that. But I'm definitely going to look it up. That sounds like, huh?
Yeah,
That's kind of like, huh? I think
I don't
horseshoes.
I don't know the science behind it. I just know I was into colloidal silver for the same reasons that most people are, but I was also using it because with cannabis plants, and I don't know why, you can spray colloidal silver on a budding flower, on a budding plant, and it will make the plant turn into a hermaphrodite, which means it'll grow male parts to it. Because cannabis is one of the plants where you need both a male and a female. They grow differently. And so the
Yeah,
female produces the buds for I'm sure you might know, but the people who are watching this who don't
yeah,
know, cannabis grows a male plant and a female plant. the female plant grows the bud that you ingest, the healthy part, and the male part pollinates the female. You grow seeds. Well, if you get the female, spray colloidal silver on it, it forces the female plant to grow male parts so that it seeds itself, and what you get is a seed that has 100% female genetics, and that's where you get feminized seeds, meaning you have 100 feminized seeds, you get 100 female plants instead of the 50-50 that you would normally get from regular seeds. So that's what I was doing all the crazy research on. What's that?
I said, what kind of alchemy is that? I like
it's
that.
It's crazy. No, it's fucking, it's real too. It's not even, it's like people, that's how they make feminized seeds. You can spray it with like 4 or 5 different types of chemicals, but some of them are toxic, some of them are really hard to get a hold of, but the colloidal silver is like, you can buy it over the counter, and that's how they're making their feminized seeds. It's pretty crazy. It does something with triggering hormones and doing this and that. I don't know. It's pretty crazy though.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like it. I was I'm definitely big time pothead. So like for a very long time. So that's generally, they used to be up my lane. Like I used to try to grow and all that different type of thing.
Yeah.
I was into the science of growing. So that's interesting.
It's crazy, huh?
And it's legal. It's legal here now.
Yeah, and the seeds are crazy expensive, man. If you get a good strain, feminized seeds, they can cost like $15 a seed sometimes. For like last year's Cannabis Cup winner, for example, is going to cost like $15 a seed.
Yeah. I've seen on the attitude seed bank go for like $30 a seed.
Damn.
It was like a landrace strain or something like that.
Well, get your favorite strain. The trick is you have to spray it with it has to be above 15 parts per million. I have like a 500 parts per million, and you have to hit it when the first couple weeks of flower. It has to be the first couple weeks, and then you have hundreds of your favorite strain, man, and they're all feminized.
Crazy.
I know, it's dope, huh? Anywho, yeah, so all you guys out there growing your own oregano, get yourself some colloidal silver, and you can make your own.
You'll be you can sell those seeds, get your own category going.
That's the plan, man. That's the plan. That's definitely the plan.
Game changer.
Is there any sort of like I don't know, I say code because we were talking about Ashir earlier, but is there any like connections you can make with using colloidal gold and why it works with dreams and you know what it's acting on?
So like why it works,
or anything coated with fucking colloidal gold, you know, mind, body, soul type of thing.
Okay. Well, I know that gold, like the Egyptians used to wear it for purposes of consciousness. So it's got to be something, like I said, inside of that metal, like how it makes your brain neurons fire faster. It's got to be like our dreams and everything. They're a pituitary gland, pineal gland in our brain. When we upgrade those areas of our body, it's gotta be that. Like I haven't done too much research into that, but what I can see is it's got to be that area. It's got to be those glands in which they're firing. It helps them fire faster, so it helps you go into the dream state a lot more. And there's science out there, so I'm definitely gonna do some more research on that. Just like how iridium does the same thing.
What does your setup look like?
My setup? Well, I'm still getting that together, that laboratory aspect together, buying things and different things like that, and I'm reading books on it. I'm reading some Dennis William Huck. He sure recommends a book by him, Idiot's Guide to Alchemy. I have that over there. But I'm reading Elixir making book. And like I said, I have a buddy of mine who, he makes it for me, but he has a shop. So he makes it for me until I can make my own.
Yeah, because you were saying you need a ton of electricity for gold as compared to silver, right?
Yeah, like silver is very easy. You don't need much. Like you can buy on Etsy, you can buy colloidal silver generators and different things like that.
I saw that.
And then you can you can buy the setup on Etsy, and then all you need is like a piece of silver that's 0.99999 pure.
Uh-huh.
The pure. And then you get your setup going and get some distilled water would be probably best, better than purified, and you'll be good.
Nice.
You'll be good. 100%. So silver is also something I'm looking into probably starting off with, just because it's easier to make. And once you get into the world of the colloids and making them, like most people, they start with silver just because they see, okay, I set up the electricity this way. Gold's kind of similar, and I do this, I do that, and it kind of gets you into the mood of working inside the laboratory and different things like
I
that.
do love that laboratory fucking setting, man. I do.
I do. I'm coming to love it a
I
lot
know,
more.
same. I have my setups in the garage. I'm making extra the plant extracts and shit, and it's like I have glassware and it looks like a straight up lab setup in my garage. And I'm like, I wish I had a fucking legit setup, like my own dedicated room to make it and just alchemizing the world.
Yeah, you can manifest that.
I know.
You can attract.
I manifested a yard. It was well, because I had to move out of my spot abruptly, which was a bummer. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, shit. I have a yard, a front yard, a backyard. I have more space. It's cleaner. It's like less rent, and so I'm like, damn. I actually came up. You know what I mean? Like, I actually came up.
What they say on what Wilfred was saying, Step Brothers, there's so much more room for
I
activities.
know. Fuck. That's the thing. We need activities. You gotta. Sometimes you gotta bunk up. um,
For
all
real.
right, we have a question. Shiz McGistis wants to know what kind of practical uses can you create? I'm assuming with colloidal gold.
This is a question on like taking it. Okay. So basically, focus, studying. Um, a lot of pro athletes use it. So if you're into sports, it'll help inflame joints. It'll help your recovery time. So if you weightlift, gold's the shit. You can basically anything that helps your focus, anything that uh, in, on that level.
Is there much science behind it for things like that, muscle recovery and shit like that?
Yeah,
Oh, there is.
there's a bunch.
Damn.
I'm looking at some today. Like basically whatever your passion is, like cooking. I've noticed when I'm cooking, I'm more in the zone. I'm more creative. So like if you're an artist, you can definitely utilize platinum, and iridium. Those three are an artist's go-to.
Gold, platinum,
Like
and
if you take
iridium.
them. Yeah. Just think about the music industry. What does everybody want to do in the music industry?
Go platinum. Damn, light bulb.
Right there.
Go gold, go
Like
platinum. That's too funny.
Gold, diamond, platinum. All of the certifications are minerals.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
It's speaking to a tone. They stole all this from the Egyptians anyway. So and people that mess with their knowledge, but you can apply it in many different ways. A lot of people, it's really apply it with anything that has to do with studying or focus, and some sort. Like an artist, you definitely have to have that focus there. Like if you're in the herbology and just like myself and planting, you got to have that focus there. If you work in a laboratory, you got to have that focus there.
Yeah.
Athletes definitely have to get in. That like if you see Steph Curry on the sideline, he's kind of like mined out. He's in the zone. You know what I'm saying?
For real. There's a phenomenal level of mental prowess that even physical athletes have to demonstrate and use.
It has definitely application. It has so many different uses. Like what it does is it taps into the alpha brain wave state, and that's what helps you focus more. You're tapping into that alpha brain.
I know what that. I've read that a bunch of times, but can you explain that? The alpha brain is the lowest, because I know there's like theta, beta, alpha, but I get confused which one does which.
Okay, so alpha is that calm, relaxed state that dating coaches like to talk about. Be an alpha male. Well, why they talk about that is because it gets you into that I don't give a fuck mode. I'm just chill. I'm chillaxing. State is where it's like nothingness. Delta is like the deepest, bottomless pit of the subconscious mind. That's where like where you go to sleep and you don't have any dreams or anything,
Yeah.
and you dreams. That's the delta state. Then theta is the programming state. That's the state that you go to when you're meditating first. Well, you go in alpha and theta in meditation, but that creative state that you can create out of, that's theta is also the programming state. So if you want to delve into like mind control or controlling your own mind and your own subconscious mind, theta is very, very key. Theta is where you're more susceptible to suggestion and to program.
All right. Yeah.
Like that. And gamma is the quickest. Gamma phase is almost like a gamma ray. They're different, but how a gamma ray, Cher talks about them. A gamma ray, it shoots off quick. It's a high frequency. So gamma is that steadying frequency. So not only does gold help alpha to be more relaxed and less stress, but it also helps with that focus. And gamma and alpha are the two states that athletes generally need to be in, to be the best. Or an artist, that like when you're studying for or cramming for an exam, something like when you're in college, that's not alpha, that's the gamma state.
Okay. Damn, I had a question. I fucking lost it. What's the we hear the flow state a lot. That's like huge in self development and whatnot. Is getting that flow state. So would that be alpha?
Yeah, because that flow state is remember when you're in flow, you're like relaxed.
Okay, yeah, you are. Yeah.
You're like in the zone type deal. So it's like slightly different than gamma. Gamma is like intense, but you're in the zone. You're just hooked. You're cramped. Alpha is like the same thing, but you're more relaxed. You're more laid back, chill, cool, that type of thing.
So So you're saying the colloidal gold helps with all of those, or specifically?
Well, what people like to focus on is alpha, but it actually helps with all of those because they all deal with the brain. Period.
Fair. Good point.
So it's going to help connect those states better. You're going to be able to go in and out of those states as needed at a more optimal rate.
Have they been doing studies with like dementia or Alzheimer's? I know my grandma actually, whose house I'm at now, she has dementia pretty bad, and my brother and I, we actually slipped some of the gold that you gave us in her coffee this morning, or we've been doing it the past couple days.
That's actually good because there are a few studies out there that will tell you. Like I was looking at one of them, but I didn't really go that deep into it. But I'm like studying gold. Alzheimer's and dementia have always come up. Like it helps brain recovery, and it helps that focus and that memory and memory recall. So with dementia and Alzheimer's, it definitely will like help her. You'll probably see increases. Like if you were to do it over a period of 2 months, you're definitely going to see the difference. But you probably definitely see day to day the difference as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll keep hitting with that. I actually meant to ask you too. What's the dose? So the one you I don't know if you guys, you might not be able to see too well, but this is Alchemy's colloidal gold that he sent me, and it's red too, which I wasn't expecting. I didn't, or not red, but it's like pinkish, and I didn't realize it would come with a tint to it, a color to it.
I'll hit on that too. So the dosage would be for just like moderate people. If you're just trying to be moderate and you're just trying to have maintenance or whatever, or just kind of get used to the effects, I would say a teaspoon to a tablespoon. So I would say a dropper full. 3 times a day would do you if you're just getting used to it or you're doing maintenance. But if you're the adept, as they would say in alchemy, some people, because there is no overdose rate, the adept would probably go from a tablespoon to that whole bottle in one day.
Damn.
And be good. Like, that whole bottle will have you like putting pieces together and decoding stuff like a shear.
So if I just slam this thing right now, that won't be. I guess my thing was like, I'll do a little bit over time, but you can slam this first ball, because that's what they actually suggest for like different medications and pills. Like, hey, take a shit ton at first to get it going, get the ball rolling, and then like taper off.
Yeah, exactly. You could do that. And like what I have learned to do is to take it throughout the day.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna, that keeps it in your system and that keeps everything going. So I'll take it 3 times a day. Like I'll take 2 dropperfuls in the morning, 2 dropperfuls in middle of the day, and 2 dropperfuls right before I go to bed or something like that. Or however, like a tablespoon in the morning, tablespoon. I'll just keep it going throughout the day to kind of keep that going in my system because it passes through your system fairly quickly.
It does?
Yeah,
Why is that?
but I don't know. I'm thinking just because of it being a mineral like that we don't get very often, like it stays there. Like what happens is your body, when we get these trace elements, it reserves a portion of it and the rest of it goes out.
Especially for the trace stuff. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That works with a lot of different trace elements. So, um, I was reading something a while ago that says that the human body actually utilizes a fuck ton of minerals. Does it actually use gold for biological processes, like in the cell? Does it do things like that, or is it more like a supplement that your body doesn't need it, but it's useful if it does have it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's very actually gold is very, very useful to your blood. It's useful in all of your organs and your organ, all of your major organs correlate to the 7 chakras. It's useful in every single part. Like in the respiratory, in the lungs, it helps open up. In the pineal gland, it helps stimulate and helps you focus. The pituitary gland and hypothalamus, it helps them, fire up faster and different things like that. It has uses all over the body. It actually,
Nice.
our body, and when it receives something like that, it utilizes it. Because remember, think about all the things that we aren't used to getting, and the thing about like when you give your body what it's supposed to have, it's gonna definitely try to use it, but also reserve some and then expel the rest.
Yeah,
The effect of the gold will be what your body has reserved for you.
I see.
And
I see.
yeah,
What about plants? Because I brought that up earlier, and you were like, "Oh, I wanted to talk about plants." I'm curious because I'm about to dump a whole jar full on my oregano babies, if that's the case.
here's the thing. I came up with something, and I was thinking about like putting it on oregano myself, just because. Um, Remember, plants, they have DNA just like we have DNA and things like that. So gold would become part of that plant's DNA, even though they get it. Gold is in the dirt. All these trace elements or minerals are in the dirt as well. So once you give your plant a higher concentration of that, and it'll take characteristics, it'll as above, so below. So
Yeah.
what it does for us, for your plant. So if you say, if you get that, you give it to that plant, that second generation, when you get that seed,
Oh
when
shit.
people smoke that, it might raise their IQ level just a little bit versus before. Because gold helps raise your IQ and there's a study on that, after about 4 weeks of, at least moderate usage of gold, your IQ can go up by 20%.
Can you that's amazing. You said you were taking notes and shit. Like that stat that you just gave me, can you hit us with more stats that they're actually proving with science with colloidal gold? Because that is phenomenal. I did not. I'm about to buy 6 more bottles off of you if that's the case.
I got 5 more bottles left on the store. Let me see. So more stats. It helps increase your libido. Your sex life will go up, and that's one I got. Let
What
me see.
baby making? So everyone can't leave their houses because of coronavirus. So that plus all the colloidal gold, we're just gonna have another boomer generation.
The 2 great things that help increase the male libido. Definitely a black maca root, which I have some. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, I take maca root too. Actually, I've come
Yeah,
up on maca root.
black maca root is the most potent one out of all the maca roots. It's what the Incan warriors used to take right before they would go to war. So it has that warrior type like feel to it, and it gives you a lot of energy.
There's nothing
And
like
like gold,
smashing and going to war.
so, and I'm talking about glass. So you mix these two things together. It's over with. It's over. I'm telling you, if you know somebody on Viagra, man, give them black marker, and they will never take Viagra again.
So I have maca, but it's not. I don't think it's black maca, and the powder itself isn't black. So is black maca root powder black?
No, it actually looks like regular maca root. It's just a different form of maca.
Okay.
I got some in here. I just took some today. I really don't want to get up.
You trying to keep the missus happy?
I was at a local vitamin shop, and it's in our mall over where I go to in Champaign, and I'm really cool with the guy that runs the place, and I was looking at some stuff, and he gave me black maca. I'm like, and he was telling me about it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have to try this stuff for real. I'm gonna have to gold. Another great thing, and why athletes why they love it is it gives you that energy. Like if you're lacking energy, my God, you'll be like, the day has gone by so quickly. You're like, can I run another lap? Can I do another set?
That's funny because I've been taking it since you got it to me, and yesterday I repotted hella plants. I mixed a bunch of soil, and it was like midnight, and I've been crashing at like 10 o'clock at night, and I was wide awake playing video games. Like, damn, I didn't even want to go to bed, man. I was like, I did because I guess nothing else to do, but I definitely have felt the increase in energy for sure, for sure. And not just the increase of energy, but the ease of doing things without being kind of, fuck, I gotta do that, fuck, I gotta do this. It was, all right, let's knock this out, all right, let's slam this, cool, efficiently, all right, now on to the next thing, kind of.
Exactly. It's kind of how when you smoke a lot, you get that brain fog.
Yeah.
Gold kind of can erase that, and definitely if you smoke and you take gold, it'll balance that out.
I know that was one of the reasons why I stopped smoking. Period. I used to burn tough in my early to mid 20s. Me and the homies were burning tough, and now it's kind of end of the night, having a beer, watching a movie, going on a live and burning some tree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the same with me. Is I was be in there me and the homies smoking 4-gram blunts and shit.
Yo, we gotta which I'm not opposed to. Don't get me wrong. I'll smoke a 4-gram blunt with you in a heartbeat. Don't get
to a point where it became physically for me no good to where I stopped. And I'll start again, but I'm trying to I notice how I am without it. I'm getting so much more shit done.
Yeah.
And, I'm not falling asleep halfway through the day anymore. I'm like, fuck, I should have did that shit.
I know that's what scares me about the legalization, man, of cannabis. Is yes, it is a medicine. Yes, it is healing. Yes, it opens creativity, but it's also it can be so easily abused, man, to where you're almost useless. You gotta be. It's like anything else. You're not gonna slam coffee 24/7. You're not gonna slam beers 24/7. But people with cannabis is oh, it's a medicine. I'm gonna wake up and smoke 2 bowl loads before I even start my day. And it's whoa, man. That's not how the plant was meant to be used.
Some people wake and bake, gets their day started, and they can actually be productive. Take a Wiz Khalifa or a Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
they've been highly successful. But most people aren't productive smokers. That's the truth. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Most people aren't productive.
Yeah, agreed.
You can be productive and still smoke. It's more power to you. But most people they get so fucking stoned. It's
most people can't.
You just want to eat pizza, sit back, and watch Netflix.
Damn, which is exactly what I'm gonna do after this live. I was like, shit, I got the oregano packed. I haven't watched Netflix in a good week. I'm about to slam it hard with some food after.
I'm actually on a 2-day fast right now. I've been drinking. I made a tea on my store. I sell gold, but I also sell my own custom tea blends, my own herbs.
Oh, nice. Do you grow it too, or do you just mix it together?
I buy the herbs right now because in Illinois our weather isn't correct right now. But I'll be I'll be growing them in the garden. come.
Brother, you got to get yourself a greenhouse, man. It's a game changer.
Okay.
They're like
Well,
100.
definitely.
They're like 150. I don't know if you've ever seen my lives or my videos where I'm inside a greenhouse.
Yeah.
That costs $120 out the door, delivered next day on Amazon.
Cool.
Grow year round in that thing.
Because I'm out here in Illinois, so weather permitting, less like when's the last? I don't know. It just snowed the other day, but I'm pretty sure I know what that was. That was that cloud. That was that cloud seeding stuff.
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic. You know, it wasn't like a true snow, but it's still here.
Oh shit.
You can tell that it's cloud seeding when it snows because you can go outside. There's snow everywhere, but it's warm outside. It's like I don't need a coat, but there's 2 feet of snow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like what's going on here? That's how you can tell. Like Colorado, I found this video online, and it's like basically like the government like being like straight out about it. It's the people that the scientists that they get to do it basically just put it out there. Oh yeah, they tried to say, oh yeah, Denver, Colorado needs it because it helps their water supply, and without it they wouldn't have water.
Yeah.
So if you look up, like Ashir told us to like research what chemicals they put into cloud seeding, and if you research it, it's like potassium sorbate and like different things like that. It's bad for the respiratory system and different things like that. So their water is basically just like hella contaminated there. Basically, if you put the pieces together,
yeah.
hella
We got the forecast for rain here. It's been raining, and I'm in Southern California. We don't get much rain at all, but we got the forecast for rain on and off for 2 weeks, and the chemtrails came in hot, and I couldn't figure out. I was like, are they trying to stop the rain or they're making the rain? Because there's not always the chemtrails. Like, oh, it's just the exhaust from the planes. Well, it's like I look in the sky every time I'm outside. 365 days a year, fucking 8-10 times a day, I'm looking at the sky. You know what I mean? And it's like we'll go weeks, a whole month without any chemtrails. And last week they said, "Hey, rain for the next 2 weeks," and all of a sudden there's fucking cloud seeding. So I was like, are they seeding the clouds and that's why they're calling for rain, or they don't want that much rain and they're changing the weather so that we don't get it? Because there'll be like 100% chance of rain tomorrow and then there's absolutely no rain tomorrow. You know, it's like, how do you guys get 100% wrong within a 24-hour period?
That's crazy that you say that. Like when you say that, because it's like the exact opposite here in Illinois. Cloud seeding for them here is a must because Chicago is a definite like landmark for a lot of energy and a lot of portals. So like we don't. It's almost very rare that we go out and there's no clouds. There's no fake clouds out there, and we can tell by the weather. Like they're always seeing these clouds, and you can tell they're all like spraying that. Yeah, like 24/7. That's their thing here. At least here in the Midwest, that's their thing. Like the energy and the portals here are very big, but California, I don't know why would they need to over there.
I don't know. I mean, I know they've came out and said, yeah, we fucking spray chemicals in the air. It's like that's not the conspiracy. The conspiracy is why are they doing it? So I'm like, are they making clouds or are they taking them away? Because I'm sure if they have the technology to make rain, then they just reverse engineer it to say, okay, this is how we make no rain. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be that hard to figure it out.
Like harp is there's something else.
I know, man. That's like a whole nother fucking rabbit hole that I wish I was. I can't keep up with all of them. I used to be deep into all of these, man. Like super deep into the harp and chemtrails and fucking this. I mean, I did my master's thesis on water fluoridation, you know, so I was like deep into the fluoride toxicity and how to fix it and how to treat it, and like there's a lot, man. That's actually when I was studying water fluoridation is when I came across monatomic gold and colloidal gold and ormus and shit like that. That's why I took it. I was like, fuck, I've been drinking all the fluoride.
Yeah, exactly. But like fluoride, like interesting, like side note, fluoride is the reason why the Jews didn't fight back against Hitler, because fluoride makes you very docile.
Makes you passive and accepting.
Just straight
And
up. Like that's why they do it, because they don't want you to do anything. It's like when you think about it, okay, there was more of them in concentration camps than there was of people who had guns. They could have like bum
by
rushed them.
far.
But and it's just like the American way right now. Look at how many, it's 300 million of us. How many people are in our government?
Or how many people with guns, or like what I always think about is the people with guns, the military are us. They're like the homie down the street who decided to join the army because he wanted free education. You know what I mean? Not because he's part of the 1% reptilian race. You know, he's the homie just like I am. You know what I mean? So like, all it would take for them is to be like, hey, I'm not going to enforce these laws because they're obviously corrupt and full of shit. So like, all it would take is for them to be like, no. No, I don't. I refuse. You know.
And civilians have more guns than the military have. Like
Good point. I
Chicago,
didn't even think of that.
Chicago, the world, and there's more of us than there is them. So that tells you how much fluoride, how much we've ingested over the years. Where we complain about the system, about okay, don't vote for this person and this, that, and the third, and this conspiracy, but we haven't like physically done anything, and we outnumber them by far.
So check this out. When I was doing my master's proposal on water fluoridation, I had access to everything I had to do. Obviously, it had to be peer reviewed because it was a college paper. So I had to pull everything from the peer reviewed sources that I had at the university, and there were hardly any from America. All the fluoride papers were written in India because they have a lot of problem. They get a lot of water from wells in India still, and that's where the most cases of fluoride toxicity and fluoride poisoning comes from wells, because it's a naturally occurring mineral, and if you don't test your wells, you can poison yourself with fluoride. So this doctor, this tooth doctor, a dentist, basically I think it was the 1920s, goes to this village and he's like, oh, these guys don't have cavities, like what's going on? So he looks at their water. He does a whole bunch of studies, but finds that they have lower levels of fluoride in their water than your average person. So he came to the conclusion that if you lower the fluoride, you'll have better health as far as your teeth. But the interesting thing is you would have assumed that he would have taken fluoride out altogether, not just lowered it. So he said anywhere from 1 to 10 parts per million is safe, where these people's water was like at 100 parts per million. So like fluoride concentrates in the pineal gland, and the weird thing that fluoride does is it fucks up your I'll try not to ramble too much. It's like it's a whole, you see the whole fucking, it's like a puzzle, dude. So you have boron. Boron takes calcium and it moves it around the body, puts it in the bones, puts it in the teeth, puts it where it needs to be. What fluoride does is it fucks up the intake of boron. So your body starts depositing calcium where it shouldn't and doesn't put it where it should be. So your teeth start to break down. You get osteoporosis. And the calcium ends up going to the soft tissue, especially the pineal gland is the main organ where the calcium deposits, because the fluoride fucks up the boron. And so this was from a peer-reviewed source, and what they showed was consuming, I think it's basically borax. The street name is borax. You use it as a detergent. If you sprinkle borax in water, it actually binds to the fluoride so that it passes straight through your system. And it's boron, so it also, not only does it bind to the fluoride, but it also is an essential mineral that helps you deposit calcium where it's supposed to go. It takes it from the soft tissue and puts it in the bones and shit. So I spent fucking like 4 months on my whole semester writing this paper on fluoridation, where it came from, peer-reviewed papers, like what fixes it, what causes it. I told my friend about it because I was like all gun-ho about the fluoride, and she goes, oh my god, that's crazy, because at my daycare we feed the kids fluoride pills so that they're not as crazy during daycare, because they get too wild. We give them these fluoride pills and like it calms them down. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I thought this was like a World War II thing. Like, you guys are actually doing this? And she goes, yeah, like they give them to us to give to the kids because like they're out of control. So we give them the fluoride and they chill the fuck out. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that was like still a thing.
That's programming at its
Is that's
finest.
yeah, dude. But yeah, like you're saying, the Nazi concentration camps. That was the first time when people were like, "Oh my god, fluoride makes people more controllable." Like they were using that shit in the camps. It's like it's documented left and right for the past 100 years, and people don't realize it.
Yeah, they just know, hey, fluoride is bad, but do you know why it's bad?
Yeah, lowers IQ. And here's the thing. So you're talking about colloidal gold, right? And people are like, oh, it's woo this. Like you can't just take a random mineral and like it enhances your brain capabilities. Well, what the fuck? You take fluoride and it lowers your IQ, it lowers your creativity, it lowers your fucking your sex drive, it lowers your will to do things. Period. And this is so. Why wouldn't you have a mineral that does the opposite? That increases all of those things. You know, like with colloidal gold, the shit that you're making in your lab or wherever you're making it at.
Exactly. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It's the exact opposite, and that's because we're getting something we're not used to versus something that we're used to is making us very passive. Fluoride really, like, energetically seems like a feminine type of thing because we have how it's more passive in its
Yeah.
energy versus gold actually being, the metal of the sun, and the sun being
It's
more
super
masculine.
projecting.
And the
Yeah.
sun is the sun in Egypt is a symbol of the pineal gland, like the god Ra. When they talk about a sun god in Egypt, what they're talking about is the hidden sun. Like,
Yeah, I did some research before we went live, and it said that gold was used by the ancient Egyptians. It's like colloidal gold is no new thing. Like the Egyptians were using this shit for fucking supplementing like 5,000 years ago.
I actually have some notes on the Egyptians and like ancient history,
Hit us, drop some
why.
shit on us.
So basically, we think that the ancients were just using gold. Not a. It was only the upper echelon who could wear gold, have gold, or use it in that fashion. Because it wasn't available to your everyday person like us. If you aren't royalty, you didn't have access to gold. Even the people who were direct servants of, like kings and queens and
They didn't
pharaohs,
even get to
they
use it.
would be they would be given gifts, they would be given food, and then they would be given what else? Let me see. Um, yeah, they were paid in gifts, food, and other things, but not gold. Other
Interesting.
things, just not gold. They know, like, here's let me bring that back for you. They knew what, like, the upper echelon knew what gold does for you. They knew that it serves the pineal gland. They knew that you will tap into higher knowledge by taking gold. So in Egypt, they had the same system of keeping people asleep and keeping certain people awake, just like we have now. So why would they wake up the people that serve their agenda
That's
by giving
actually,
them
I
this
was
method?
like, oh, well, that makes sense. Why would they want the run of the mill challenging them?
Exactly.
Interesting.
And there's a study. There's a study where doctors would take a scalpel, and people who had like inflamed joints and different things like that, they would take a scalpel and slip a gold coin under that direct joint, sew it back up, and that person wouldn't have any more inflammation or pain.
Shit.
Crazy. Like, that's how potent it
Do you have more
is.
stats written down that you could hit the people? Hit the people with? Because these are
Uh,
cool. I actually I haven't seen. Like I said, I didn't go too deep into colloidal gold, so I saw the anecdotal stuff. I didn't see the actual reviewed and like tests that they've
yeah.
been doing with this shit.
So let me see. The last few things I have on it is just about, it raises your consciousness, and how gold, everything we discussed so far, like, it's a tool, especially like if you're meditating. Gold is good
Uh huh.
because it puts you in a state of focus. You can focus on that one train of thought. Once you get it into a certain level in your system, you'll notice, like, I was able to focus on something for like 2 minutes. Now I can focus for 5 minutes. Now 10 minutes. Now 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really a great meditation tool.
Focus is the
It
fucking key,
really,
man. Like you said earlier, when you hit that theta stage, like that's where you start reprogramming shit.
yeah,
But it takes focus to get there.
exactly. And like with reprogramming, I've been reprogramming maybe the past 2 months, like I told you about the Think and Grow Rich, I used that audiobook. I found a 2-hour audiobook of Think and Grow Rich for 30 days. I listened to it. In that 30 days, I started my Etsy store. I, did a number of different things. My thought process is different.
Nice.
I've also started the last week listening to this money magnet meditation and it's a sleep meditation, so I go to sleep with it. And that actually, like, the best time to reprogram the subconscious mind is during sleep because it's more suggestive during that state. So everything will go in, it'll absorb everything. Your conscious mind, when you program like we're awake now, it will refute certain things. So that's why they say, certain people tell you when you reprogram your mind, it takes 21 days. Have you heard that?
Yeah, definitely.
Generally, they're speaking of when you're awake. It takes 21 days. It'll probably take a lot less if you do sleep programming.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that. Your conscious mind will come in and try to, with the polarity and say, you're not a business person. You still work at a store. You know what I'm saying? You still do this. You still do that. Your conscious will come in and check you. So, it'll check you less and less every day, less and less, going through these 21 days. But if you sleep program, there's no conscious mind there. It's only subconscious mind. It'll go straight there.
Interesting.
To the source.
Wait, so you're my bad. Go ahead.
So what I've noticed with the sleep programming, it's working a lot more direct and quicker. Like I've noticed how like my state taxes will probably in Illinois, they always come like 2 months after you get your first check from the federal. And about 3 weeks out of nowhere, it came super early. And this is just like within days of listening to this, little things like that have kind of like magnetized. And my thought about money, I think about money as being evil less and less, which I know, like my things, like the way I feel about money is a lot different. Like, and with me having a business now, it's like, getting more business ideas, and that's the gold helping too. Like when I start taking gold more, I'm getting more business ideas. I see everything as a chance to put it on my Etsy shop. Oh, okay, I can make this tea blend, and just put these type of herbs together. I'm getting these ideas. Like, how do I know how to put these herbs together, and it'll get this outcome? And I research. I'm like, okay, I'm pulling things from the ethers.
Yeah, it's not even like. It's not even like how am I getting these ideas, because it's not like you're getting the answers, but you're getting the imagination and creativity to ask questions of how to put things together. It's like, oh, that's an interesting thought. I would have never had that. Was a weird. Why did I have that thought? You know what I mean? How can I? And then you go investigate that thought, sort of thing.
And that's what's been happening so far. So, like, what I've been doing since the end of January has actually been benefiting me. And I would suggest I can supply people with the 2-hour Think and Grow Rich audio book by Napoleon Hill. Like, he talks about time and so much in that book. He also talks about the mastermind principle, and that's really one of my favorites.
I mentioned that a lot on the channel. That mastermind principle is gold, man.
It is. It's like it's basically what he was trying to give to common folk who doesn't delve in our world. It's almost like what Ashera was saying, like she doesn't worship deities. She works with their energy because there are these certain aspects of them that she wants to become within herself.
Yeah.
And that's my principle right there. Without bringing you into this world directly, you take people that you see every day, and you're like, dang, I wish I could be like that person, or like I resonate with that person. And he says, okay, we'll take people and have nightly meetings with those people in your mind, and you will become like their aspects.
Yeah.
And that will grow to where you're trying to be at in life.
Amen, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like, Napoleon Hill was on some stuff.
Yo, have you read his other books?
Yeah, I've read obviously The Interview with the Devil. I read that last January, and I've delved into the Success Principles audiobook, but so far that's all I've done.
You know what I'd be curious to do is is, I think it was the Success one where he was interviewing Carnegie, and Carnegie, if Carnegie said the things that he did verbatim as per Napoleon Hill, then Carnegie was also on some shit. So I'd be curious to if he has any writings or like what the hell was going through his mind, because he sat down with Napoleon and said, "Hey, write all this shit down. Like this is what people need to know." Because Napoleon didn't know shit, until he met Carnegie, and Carnegie was like, "All right, go interview the top what do you say, top 20 or interview whatever, something like that."
Yeah, the people that had the same success as he had at that point in time, and all the top of each industry.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Napoleon Hill, he met with Carnegie, and in like I think it was like 1906 or some shit like that. And Carnegie said, correct me if I'm wrong, Alchemy. He said, before we continue, I want you to go interview like 20 heads and get what they have to say, and then come back with all the knowledge. And then that's when Napoleon Hill was like, yo, these guys are all on the same philosophy, the same mind over matter, the same everything originates in thought, the same fucking mastermind sort of things.
Exactly. That's basically what he said. Like when he talks about in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about Henry Ford. And Henry Ford had like very little education, but look at his company now. Because of the mastermind principle. He sought out people. So the other aspect of the mastermind principle is to seek out people who fill in the gaps wherever you lack at.
Ooh.
You should find someone who can fill that gap and give you that. So with him, with Henry Ford not having that much knowledge, he needed to seek out people who were scientific, people who could help him draw up schemes, people who could help him get his idea out, for the car out there, for newer cars out there, and different things like that. And as you see, Ford is one of the top brands still to this day because of that principle.
Over 100 years later, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so Napoleon Hill, he interviewed like 500 people.
Damn, 500 people he did?
Yeah, 500 people total over a span of 20 years. Crazy.
People do things a couple times nowadays and they're over it, man.
Yeah. Basically, what Carnegie told him to do is I'll pay your bills. I'll make sure you eat. I'll make sure you have clothes on your back and different things like that. Make sure you don't lack anything in the physical. So basically, he didn't really have to actually pay him once he started to see that. When everybody in our generation, if they would have been like, the first thing they would have been worried about was how am I going to pay my bills. I'm not going to do that. How am I going to pay my bills? But this guy's paying your bills. He's making sure you lack no good thing because you're going to be living with him. And while Napoleon was on these exploitations, he was going, he would go over to some, say, Henry Ford's house, and Henry Ford would, obviously he's going to be taken care of there. So he was taken care of through this whole journey. Basically, that was his apprenticeship, through the whole thing. So he was taken care of so that he could do the great work. Like the alchemist. I think Napoleon Hill was an alchemist.
Nice.
For real. Like Ashira talks about that, like how alchemists back in the day, what they would do is they would seek out the church, and the church would sponsor them and give them a fund, much like a scientist is given a grant, and out of that grant their bills are paid, and then they use the rest for their research.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about, the mundane stuff. They can just create.
That's that's been my ultimate goal, to do something like that, to put myself in a position where I can find people and be like, hey, don't worry about shit. Just put your mind to work. What do you need? I got you. Just get a bunch of heads just working on whatever their passion is and not worrying about shit, but fucking bringing forth some magic across the veil, And
outwitting the devil, I think that Carnegie was who he was talking to.
Say that again?
I think he was talking to Carnegie and outwitting the devil. I think that's his conversation with
You think so?
It just kind of seems like if you, it's either that, or it's either him, or he was also sponsored by the Rockefellers.
Oh shit! I see where you're getting at.
You see
Yeah. No, I definitely see it. The only thing with Carnegie is because I mean, it's been a while since I've read the text, but I thought Carnegie wanted people to know this, and I can't imagine the
Yeah,
Rockefellers wanting people
yeah,
to know this. That's why
exactly.
I was like, when he wrote a Conversation with the Devil, it was like, all right, the Carnegies are some people who want to keep the power for themselves. So I could definitely see like, all right, maybe that's who he was
Yeah,
fucking talking to, you know, or
yeah,
something along
yeah.
those
I see what you're
lines.
saying. Yeah, it was one of the two. I'm thinking now more of the Rockefellers because Carnegie actually came from the average. He was an average man. He used to work for a steel company, and then he became the steel mogul. So I'm thinking like it's probably the Rockefellers.
Damn, I always thought about that because I was like, I don't. Some people are like, was he actually talking to like a demon? I was like, I wasn't buying that, but like, I could see that, man. I could see him talking to the fucking Rockefellers or some sort of
Evil
old money blood, you know?
yeah, that bloodline because
Yeah,
then that's that type of evil.
yeah. Interesting.
Definitely, most definitely. I think that's who it was because the thing is, out of everything the Rockefellers we know that you can research that they've done, Napoleon Hill in that book speaks of them very highly as if they've done none of what they've done.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's how he off puts us, like that oath energy, that trickster energy, where it tricks you like very slightly, where you don't know. You have to read between the
Well,
lines.
the
You have to
best
really
lies come with truth, or something like that. The best lies told have a piece of truth in them, or however the saying goes.
like everything is 50% truth, 50%, half truths basically,
Yeah.
like the Kabbalion tells.
Huh.
Basically telling you all perspective. Like your truth is different than my truth, and my truth is different than your truth. Like in Australia right now is probably, the sun could be out, but here the sun's not out. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to touch on the color of the gold because I know you had a question about that.
Oh, yeah. I know we tangented hard, as we expected. But yeah, actually, um,
Yeah.
actually hold that thought because I need to use the restroom real quick. So if you guys need to use the restroom, I can roll up some oregano or something, stretch your legs. I'll be right back.
Ooh, I can't see the chat guide, so I can't answer any questions. Yeah, I can't see the chat, so I can't answer any questions. You guys want to go to my page, Alchemy of Life here on YouTube. I'll probably be doing a video later on tonight. Probably maybe I'll do a live stream maybe from that, something like that. But yeah, finally got chatless man and letters. Cool. Each know the truth. Have our own versions. Always
Whoa.
different.
Nice. Did I miss anything?
Sound much.
there's, there's a bee in here. There's two bees in here. Oh no, one bee. Nice. All right. Oh, that's a good question. Is gold good for kids? Oh yeah, we'll get to the color, but you can do a simple yes or no if you want for the kids, because I didn't want to forget that one, because I have a child.
Gold is great for kids. You just have to do your research, and obviously they would get a lot. You would get a very lower dosage. You know, you give them like 5 or 6 drops for the day for the total day, and then you would up it. But it's like as they get older, I'm not sure about infants or anything like that, or like really young kids, but like school age kids, you can give them some definitely. You just have to lower the dosage compared to what you
and
take as an
and
adult.
just as a disclaimer, so we save both our asses. These what are the words? Our claims aren't backed by FDA. Um, and you guys should consult your doctors for any serious medical concerns. Not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any illnesses. Um, do your own research. Be responsible with the things you put in your body. And I think that should cover the most of it because we're online and we
Yeah.
can't diagnose shit, especially with underage humans because shit gets tricky there. I don't only say that because my last channel got shut down for some dumb shit like that. So we can, so we gotta be careful how we word things.
They shut you down for giving advice.
Right, fucking dickheads. Anywho, yeah. So yeah, actually, we didn't give any to my child, but I gave some to my partner, and she still breastfeeds. So that's why we were like, oh, I wonder if you can take this if you're still breastfeeding. And we've only been taking like 3 to 6 drops a person. I didn't realize what the dosage was, so we've been taking far less than what the dose is, anyways.
Yeah, so it should be good.
Um,
But the color of gold.
yeah,
So in that dropper, it looks like
it
pink.
does.
But if you were to get like if you were to get like a white styrofoam cup and pour some in there, you would see that's ruby red. Or darker. It looks lighter in the dropper than it actually
Okay.
is. So like if it's a light pink colloidal, if the colloidal gold is like pink, it'll look like light pink in the dropper. But the better the concentration of the gold, or the better the gold, it'll be more ruby red. So it turns red because when it's doing the electrical suspension, it refracts all yellows, greens, and blues, leaving only red. It's kind of just like this, That's kind of a wonderful thing.
Oh shit.
It's all scientific.
Because you would think if
It's
it's
only
gold, then it would extract and be gold tint to it, but it's not. It's red.
yeah. It's kind of the thing. It just leaves like it refracts all other colors, soaks them up, leaving only red. It's kind of a weird thing.
That's crazy. All right, let me make sure. Oh yeah. I want to recap real quick because we're deep in. We got 24 people in here, and I want to make sure if anyone got here late that they know what the hell is going on. So this is Alchemy of Life. He's been on the channel for a while. You guys might have seen his name pop up a fuck ton of times in the chat room. He makes his own. Oh no, he's in the practice of making his own colloidal gold, but his product that he sent me is manufactured by an alchemist whom he trusts and is on top of his shit. So we've been talking colloidal gold, how it helps the body, boosting creativity, sex drive, focus. Basically, the idea is gold conducts electricity really well, so it helps the neurons fire in the brain. And these are things we've been talking about as far as what's backed by science too. So it's not just like hearsay shit. This is I actually wanted to ask you a couple more things, man. If you had any more like things written down or things that you can recall, they're like, holy shit, colloidal gold is doing this, and they've like shown tests and stuff like that. Like hit us with some of those.
Let me see.
Oh, and he has a shop too. Give me. His shop is in the description. Actually, I shouldn't have to write it down. So check the description, you guys. It's already there. 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down. It says, "Here's the man's Etsy shop. Etsy.com/shop/Alchemy of Life Co." It's in the description of this video. Go check it out.
Another fact is it is a great alternative to antidepressant medications because it keeps you in a happy mood. Basically, it kicks out stress and depression and brings in happiness and joy type. Like when I've been taking it for a while, and I've noticed that I been in higher vibrations. So by raising your magnetism and your vibrations, you know, there's no time for depression. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not there. The person who's they've used it for as an antidepressant aid for a lot, an experiment with people and seen it work. So if you're that person that struggles with depression, gold is for you, or St. John's wort. I've used both in tandem.
John Smith, actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to answer that question, John Smith, but he asked that probably a good 45 minutes ago if it was good for. I never came back to it, but that's awesome because he asked that question. That's anxiety specifically is one of the things that he's been worried about.
Anxiety, it's great for anxiety, depression, all of that. It's like I was dealing with that, and like randomly for a couple weeks ago, and I noticed it would surface here and there, but I noticed it doesn't surface anymore since I've been back on gold. No, personally, it's taken that away, and it's taken away the inflammation in my joints and different things like that, and it's really, 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 really
That's
good
amazing.
for those
And
things.
this is stuff that's like that people are testing on, and you can look up these studies and whatnot.
Yeah, you can go online and look them
That's
up.
so
It's
fucking
like
cool, man.
if
That's so cool.
it's there. Find it. Like if you wanted to look up for depression, you just say, "Hey, colloidal gold for depression," and there'll be studies.
Madness. That's the fucking coolest thing.
Crazy. Let me see. That's pretty much the rest of my notes. So basically, what I've noticed for my own self, in my own being, is that colloidal gold and colloids, they're they're very hermetic, and that's how you can tell that a lot of hermeticists of the ancient world used them because they touch on the mind, body, and the
Uh-huh.
spirit. They touch on all three planes of existence. They have the physical, like dealing with the joints, and like say you're a weightlifter or something like that, or an athlete, you recover so much quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could do 3 sets of 10, that's your max on a certain weight. Now you can do 6 sets of 10 and not be as tired. So that's the physical elements. It's like helping with inflammation and different things like that. And then the mental, obviously, we touched on the mental.
Uh-huh.
Your brain is firing faster. You're focusing more. It's good with the pineal gland, the pituitary glands. You're dreaming more. And the spiritual, obviously, meditation, that focus, and different things like that. It's really going to help your spiritual life out. So it's touching on all three keys of life. Very rarely do things like that we take do that for us.
We had another question, or some Kim Stewart. What up, Kim? Just said I'll have to research the difference between colloidal and monatomic, and I know we talked about that earlier, but I'm not sure I'll be able to give a good recap because you know it better than I do. So let them know the difference between monoatomic and colloidal.
So, in a synopsis, colloidal gold or colloidal. The word colloidal means suspended or suspension. So, it is a process in which you suspend that element using methods of, you know, voltage with with electrical currents. Now, monatomics, they don't use that process. They use salts, which hold the mineral in it. So they use an indirect sourcing of that element by using sea salt or Himalayan sea salt, and then they use a process for that. I forgot what the process they use to extract that
I
mineral.
know. I remember the
But
the
that's
products I was buying was Dead Sea salts. They were using Dead Sea salt for the monatomic. I think that was specifically for the Ormus, but you said it's sort of the same thing, right? Ormus is just the next level
yeah,
of, but they're using
yeah.
salts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the next level. It's very, very similar to monatomics. Might as well be the same thing. It's just a higher version of it. It does more for you than just the regular monatomics. And monatomics, you gotta like if you have to wrap those in foil
Yeah.
because they're they're corruptible by frequencies. But colloidal gold, you really don't have to do that it's been because of the process that it goes through.
Yeah, I remember having to wrap my Ormus in um, foil, and I remember when I moved places and I didn't finish it, and I just had the Ormus lying around, or the monoatomic gold lying around, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this, and it was just like white caked powder, like all over the
Yeah,
outside. It was crazy.
yeah. Because actually, I used monatomic platinum before. I got it off of Amazon. I forgot what brand it was. I could probably find it on there, but I remember it doing the same thing around them and caking up around the rim, where you would take it on.
Um, Damn, this shit's so crazy. I had something and then I lost it again. My mind's racing again. I start every time I think about Ormus, I'm like, oh, plants, fucking this, and like, um, um, damn, what was I gonna say? Hmm, can't remember. Anyway, was there something that you wanted to bring up? Any
Mm,
other?
Not that I can think of. I think we've pretty much covered most of it really in, in not in its entirety, but we've kind of hit most of the parts that people would have questions about.
Where you getting your gold from?
I'm getting my gold from, actually, there's a couple of places. Now, there's an alchemist that runs this place called Gold, and I have a friend that works for them,
Uh-huh.
and they kind of talk to people. And then there's this Etsy shop that I really love right now, and it's called Royal Ormus, and he's on Etsy. His name is Monty, and he does monatomics and he does colloids, and he does really good work. I mean, his work is immaculate. Like that's his bread and butter
Nice.
right there. Royal on Etsy is the shit. Like I'll actually get a bottle of the stuff that I was taking before I put the stuff in my shop. Yep, on Etsy. Here's like with a lot of that white powder stuff, it's very some of that stuff can be very, very toxic because it's like a gold chloride salt, so it'll do you harm. So there's a lot of people like when you do monatomics, or even if you do like colloidal gold, you really have to figure out if it's a great source, because even with colloidal gold, some people they like to put gold chloride in there, which turns it red to mimic to mimic the quality of the gold, of actual colloidal gold. And the same thing for the monatomic gold. They'll put like a gold chloride salt, which is very harmful to your brain and to your body,
Huh.
and large amounts.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So you kind of do your research, you'll come across those types of things. People trying to come up on a dollar using certain things that make it mimic the quality of these elixirs. So that, like with me, if I use their product, it's because I've done my research and I know it's like up and up, up and up. That's kind of what made me want to make my
I
own,
see.
you know, you know, and get that going for myself. But I don't. There's very few places I go. Like there's this place called Mountain Wellbeing.
Uh-huh.
I think it's I think it's called. They have a YouTube channel, but their stuff is A1.
Nice.
Good price. And what I wanted to do is, because when Ashira came out with her elixirs, I noticed the price on them, and I know that she touched on the why they're that pricey, is because she has to she's a businesswoman, so I get it. So she needs to make a dollar off of them too. But I wanted to be able to either make them myself or get them from a source where I could get them in a quality product first, and then get it in volume for a good price to where I could lower the price for people who can't afford $70 a
Uh-huh.
bottle.
That was my
And
next
it can
question.
still
How much was this? So, for those who don't know, Alchemy sent me this bottle, because he's homies as fuck. But how much does this run? How much? This was what, an ounce? Looks like an ounce jar.
$29.99 for an ounce, and that is actually really good,
That seems
because
cheap as fuck.
most people will try to get you for 35
Uh huh.
plus.
I would have guessed like
You
40.
know,
I would like 40. I don't know, 40,
yeah,
45 or something like that. 50 you could get away with if you have a big enough following, but that seems kind of pricey. I would have guessed 40 to 45.
yeah. So I looked up people's prices, and I said, okay, like some of the people who are running for cheaper prices aren't always on the up and up, with their product. It's
Uh
not
huh.
really quality. And some people it is, some people it isn't, but most people their shit runs pretty
Uh
pricey.
huh.
You know, even if it is like a share, her products are very, very quality. I've heard nothing but rave reviews about her
Same. I had
products.
hers and I fucking accidentally dropped a bunch of um, pine oil inside of it, so I stopped taking it because it just fucking tasted like straight pine oil. It's disgusting.
And hers, like for a half ounce, because she sells half ounces too. For a half ounce, it would run you probably about what you pay for me, like 30, like $29, $30. So like I saw it's $33 for a half ounce of her gold nanoparticles. But for an ounce, I'll give you, $29.99 for an
Uh huh.
ounce. you know, and I'll probably once I get some silver, I'll probably run that around. Silver generally is cheaper than is the cheapest of the colloids because it has so many different uses and it's availability. And I don't know what I'll price it at, but it'll probably be cheaper than that for an
What?
ounce.
This is something I've been wanting to do probably since I was a kid. I tried talking my dad into it, but we never got around to doing it. Was to have places where you can mine your own. Oh, this is a question that I didn't want to fucking forget. Actually, so two things I want to say. One, I'll write it down so I don't forget. Okay, that's that. That'll be a segue from what I'm about to ask you. But you ever considered mining your own shit, because that's a possibility of like getting your own source, involving yourself in the process a little more? Because I know out here in California, there's all kinds of you can mine your own crystals, you can mine your own gold, you can mine your own silver. You just kind of find the spot, pay your fee, and like go do your thing.
See, out here in Illinois, we really don't have that, so I haven't really actually thought about that.
I did just because not because a necessity factor, but a cool factor. I was like, how dope would it be if this dude fucking mined his own gold and like made his own colloidal silver?
That would be great because as the energy you put into
Yeah,
something, the energy that I would love to be able to do that. To be able to have a source where I could mine it, and it'd be like how you grow your own herbs, and
yeah,
then you take that
exactly,
and then something else.
exactly.
What I will be doing here in the coming months. Like I got, I've actually got some dope seeds. Like you've heard of black seed oil?
Yeah.
I've got some black seeds right here. This is right here.
Are you gonna grow your own black? What is it? Let me see the package. What family is it from? Like, what's the scientific name of it? Oh, it's cumin. It's part of the cumin family.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so that's where black seed oil is from, the cumin family.
What?
Black cumin.
I had no idea.
But I'm gonna go to my where I got them at and get a couple more of those because I got it for $2.95. But I'm gonna try and have some black seed oil or some black seed infused teas on the shop.
Bro, get yourself a greenhouse. I'm telling you, your plants will flourish. Dig like a little hole. Dig like a little. What's mine? I have like a 5 foot by 12, 6 foot by 12 foot greenhouse, like $120. You dig that bitch out like 2 feet down, sit the greenhouse in there, and you'll extend your growing season by like 2 months easily. That'd be cool to see you get your own fucking things up and running on your shop, because it's pretty. It gets cold as fucking Illinois, doesn't it? Blizzards and shit out there.
Yeah, like -3 and shit.
Nah, dude, not trying to have any part of that. I got a greenhouse and I live in Southern California. I don't think it gets below like 40 degrees.
We'll probably like during the summertime we're known like in our garden we grow a lot of peppers and stuff, a lot of vegetables, a lot of peppers, a lot of herbs.
Oh, nice.
So I got some pretty cool peppers from Pepper Joe. So those are Apocalypse Scorpion pepper seeds, 9.5 heat grade. So they grade them at extreme, but I'm gonna make some hot sauce out of those and sell that on the shop. So I'll probably have like in the summer like
we gotta partner up, man. Because my extractor that I use to make like the absolutes, one of the main things people are making is chili oil from it. So I can grind up fucking like a pound of chilies, soak them in ethanol for a couple days, and straight up pull all the fucking oil out of it. And like make thick ass straight up ghost pepper oil, dude.
I got ghost pepper seeds from last season over there. I saved,
From your own, you grew them yourself. Fuck yeah, nice. That's awesome.
And the thing about peppers is that would work. We could partner up because once you take a pepper off of the vine, it just grows back. As long as it's in season, it just grows back. So you can have like upwards to like 40 peppers on a plant. You can pick them all and give it 3 weeks, and they'll just be right back.
40 more. Oh man, that's dope. I'm stoked. Let's do that.
So I'm thinking about this year. I'm going to start making my own not clones, but I'm going to start crossbreeding. I'm going to take like this scorpion pepper and crossbreed it with a jalapeno and a ghost pepper and see what I can figure out how to pollinate them and stuff. It's pretty easy.
Get a small box and get the 2 peppers and put some ants in there, and don't let them. They'll cross pollinate each other for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they
Okay.
do it with what was it? I have some frankincense trees growing, and I was reading up on how they cross pollinate them, and they basically build a little greenhouse. It's like 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and they throw both trees in there, and they throw whatever insects are gonna pollinate, and they get the seeds, the hybrid seeds.
Bet. And like that, like cross pollinating goes right up my alley because I love to smoke herbs. So I'm always looking at different strains and how they cross.
Hey.
And this strain, like, wait a minute, you can do that with
Isn't
peppers?
that fucking crazy,
Bet.
dude? Like that's all I'm doing. I'm driving down the street and I'm going, could you imagine if you cross that with that? Like, how dope would that be? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? How fucking sick would that be?
Like jalapeno taste wise is one of my favorite peppers on taste wise. Like ghost pepper, I love that. I can take the heat, I can eat them, but like taste wise, it's like pretty nasty.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
they're too chalky, man. Ghost peppers get too chalky. You know what I mean?
so it's like, what if I cross a ghost pepper with a pepper that I thought tasted really well and take those qualities and then cross.
Son,
Like,
dude, if you need another person to stabilize your phenotype when you start crossbreeding, like send them to Cali. We can grow year round. I'll help you stabilize your genetics.
we could get something going,
I
man.
know, dude. You gotta unite. You gotta get that mastermind going. You gotta get that plant mastermind going.
We could do that because we're both into this field. Like I've been like maybe the last 10 years we've had a garden, and I'm always, since I was a freshman in high school. So
Nice.
now I'm evolving where it's all totally on me, which I love because now I'm gonna grow my own herbs, like the herbs that I sell in my teas.
Yeah.
I'll be able to They'll be able to be sourced better, and I can have them on hand and that type of thing. So everything's coming together quite masterfully.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I love it when a good plan comes together. And
I love it when a good plant comes
a
together.
good plan I got. Let me check let me check the live and see if there's not any other like big. I haven't even been if I can look at the comments for like 20 minutes. So I'm curious to try. I use the mugwort spray if I'm trying to lucid dream. I keep forgetting to write them down. Trismegistus, man, I'm telling you, like people, because I don't know how colloidal gold works, but I sell the lucid dreaming shit and the herb stuff like that. And I've said it 1,000 times. The mugwort does not make you lucid dream, and like the Mexican dream herb does not make you lucid dream. The African, they don't make you lucid dream. They make the dreams more vivid, which isn't lucid dreaming. They make the recall better, which isn't lucid dreaming. They increase the detail of the dreams, which isn't lucid dreaming. None of those things are lucid dreaming. So you guys who are like buying the products for lucid dreaming, that's not gonna make you lucid dream. It's gonna make the vividness and the recall better. But when it comes to lucid dreaming, you gotta fucking keep that dream journal, man. Like I say this because Trismegistus said, I keep forgetting to write them down, and like that's key. That's like taking protein powder and not going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like you gotta get you gotta have the physical counterpart in place, and that's like doing your reality checks and doing your fucking dream journaling and like meditating before bed. Like I'm going to remember dreams and stuff like that. You know.
That's what gold does. It makes your dreams a lot more vivid. And iridium would probably be something like iridium. If you're trying to lucid dream, that would be a colloid to like get in your arsenal because how it like makes everything more vivid, like mugwort, but with iridium, it's almost like a movie.
That's yeah, fuck. That's what I wanted to ask you about earlier. What's up with iridium? This isn't about iridium. It's about gold. But what's up with iridium?
Okay, so iridium is a platinum family, and what it does is it does a lot of the same things as gold does. Is it tightens up your acuity in your mind, makes you more focused, in a lot of different ways. And one of the many different things that it does is it works your creativity, and it helps your dreams. A lot of people take it for dream and for lucid
Uh huh.
dreaming. It helps.
I gotta get
It's
some of
really
that, man.
like the platinum family, platinum, rhodium, iridium, things like that. They're really good for creativity and for dreaming.
Nice. Um. Uh. Before I forget, crystals. Have you ever heard? I'm shooting from the hip here. Have you ever heard of anyone putting electricity to crystals to create a colloidal suspended fucking crystal thing?
I never have. I've never heard that. That'd be interesting to actually look up and find
Right.
out. Because everything comes back to crystals because we have crystals naturally reoccurring in our brain because the pineal gland produces them. Ashira put me onto that when she did a video on crystals and eumelanin and how the pineal gland produces small little like quartz crystals in your brain, which
It
which
does.
force conductivity of synapses in your brain. And a lot of these doctors out here, they know that. What they'll do is they'll tell you have a fucking tumor, but it's a fucking crystal in your brain. They'll take it out and they'll use it for their research.
What? Where'd you get that from?
I got that from I was doing some research and I came across it one day when Ashira told us about that, and I came across that one day looking up that, and doctors they're very malicious, man. These pharmaceutical doctors are very malicious. That's what they'll do, and it just makes sense. Like if you went for a CT brain scan for whatever reason, and it comes up. Am I good? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. But yeah, it's like what they'll do is they'll try to, when doctors see these types of things, these types of feats, because they're studying the pineal gland, obviously, and pharmaceutical medicine, they have a lot of ties to like the Rothschilds, things like that, and they want those pineal glands. They'll see if you see these people producing crystals in their brain, they want that shit. So they're always exactly because crystals increase your magnetism and
Yeah.
conductivity just having them on your person. So what would they do for your brain?
So check this out. I just read. I did a crystal video recently. Oh no, I was doing crystal research because that live with Gem Goddess, and one of the articles they came up with was, yeah, we have crystals. Yes, they're in the brain. Yes, they're quartz based. However, the crystals release a resonance, a vibration, and that vibration restructures the actual uh, physiology of the brain. So the quartz crystal vibrates in your brain, changes the brain chemistry, and they're going. The thing is that you can stimulate that crystal with waves, Wi-Fi, with the phone especially. So they're saying like you put your phone to your ear when it's doing bad things to your brain. That's what's happening is the phone is pumping out a frequency that's making the fucking quartz go crazy, and the quartz going crazy creates a frequency, and that frequency fucks your brain up. And that's what they're saying is like why people on their phones will like walk into the middle of oncoming traffic not realizing what's going on because they're just like fucking, you know what I mean, all zonked out.
Cars need to be more autonomous. So
Yeah.
like, I wonder what tuning forks do for it then. Like tuning forks, like that sound, that wave that they create. Because I got a 528 Hz one
That's
coming.
probably what it's doing. It's probably bumping those crystals in your head, and it's just fucking it's amplifying.
Yeah. That's probably like when I listen to tuning forks, like you can feel it reverberate in your skull.
Yeah, it's been a while. My buddy used to have them, and he would like put them both around my ears, and it'd be like almost like fuck, like I can't even like stand up straight, kind of thing.
I feel them like around these areas, like here. It's like okay, it's like kind of like that. It's like if the Wi-Fi is from your phone is doing that, then tuning forks,
Same.
tuning your brain.
Yeah, that's
I found a nice little decent YouTube channel that what they do is they take tuning forks and they play them, and they do them for like meditation, 5 minute meditations. Like they'll just play like a 528. They got 963, which is the crown chakra. They got everything in the solfeggio tones.
what's that?
They have everything in the solfeggio scale,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
plus the added three. Like the one, they got the 158, the 257. That's good for like pain and stuff. They got those added in there, but they're really great. Like I use their channel all the
That's
time.
awesome.
I fall asleep. So
Some of them I
If they're,
can't. How do
they're
you feel about those binaurals? Or some of them, it just sounds like you're turning into a crazy person because they're almost too much. It's like you're listening to friggin' alien frequencies blasting your brain or something like that.
Yeah, I used to listen to Brian Norris a lot, but I really get what you're saying. I don't listen to them now because of that type of reason. So I kind of like have gone the two fork
Uh
route
huh. Uh huh.
and like subliminal affirmation. Like I found a subliminal affirmation channel that he's really on. Like the guy that runs it is called Subliminal Transformation. He's really on the up and up. He's really about the work, the great
Uh huh.
work,
Nice. Fuck yeah.
and so and he does really good work. It's like there's a lot of like fake channels out there. Obviously, he's like that's kind of how I found it. I went through a lot of the bullshit and then found the a really good channel.
Yeah.
But it's like it's really thin because you see the results of it, and that's how you can tell. We kind of have to test it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, am I experiencing what I should based upon what the video title says or whatever? You know, like I've
Manifest
experienced with
abundance
some
tonight.
like come on now, come on. What is your conscious mind gonna say to that? Your conscious mind is gonna nope. That's why the subconscious mind is like really important because like when you do it while you're asleep, your conscious mind can't awake and refuse that.
That's the thing, man. We might be opening up a can with this, but as far as psychedelics go and all the music festivals and stuff like that, it's like there are not many um, opportunities to be in a receiving mind state than when you're on psychedelics. It's like the most powerful receptive mind state, and then people are going these music festivals and they're listening to these mainstream artists with these fucking wild ass messages about like just praising money and praising like what's the word? What's a better word? Praising like the superficial, very unsatisfying things in this world. Like the Kardashians is all about money. It's all about looks and sex appeal. It's like things that are wonderful, but like to base your entire life on that while you're on, say, fucking 5 grams of mushrooms is like the most programming thing you can be on. You know what I mean? You come out of that like, this is what they use. Like the MK, it's MK Ultra. I just saw a documentary in Canada how they were when they first came up with LSD, they were slamming people with stupid high doses of LSD and like brainwashing the fuck out of them. The grown ass adults were walking around like babies, getting their diapers changed like babies because they've been completely destroyed from psychedelics. And it's like if you can use these things to, like we said before, if you can use these things for positive, you can use them for negative. Like absolutely, it's got to go both ways.
Exactly. The laws of Tahuti or the hermetic laws coming into play.
Yeah.
You know, with the highest law being mentalism. It's like how the key is to use higher law against every lower law.
Yes.
And the
Well
highest law
said, man.
tell you it's
Well
mental.
said.
That's the key. Is to learn if you can learn to master mentalism and on each level of consciousness you go to, then and like learn how to program yourself, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, you won't subject really all the time to a lot of the lower laws
Yes.
because everything like all those laws fold into one law, which is mental.
Uh huh. They do. Fuck, that's so,
Because
man. You said all of that better than I've ever said it. Well done, man. It's true.
it's like a flower. This one law, because when they say all is
Mhm.
mind, and mind, the mind being the link between above and
Mhm.
below, between the spiritual and the
Mhm.
physical, it is the mind. It is a mind that created all of these laws. You know,
Um.
crazy.
Yeah. The Kabbalion says that the sage knows that he is a slave to the realms above him, but master to those below. And so we're not slave, but servant. I think the word was serve. We serve the higher
Yeah,
laws and we dictate the lower. And that's what it means to
exactly.
rise above. Keep getting to the next level. We serve the higher, and but that's how the world goes. If you're a servant, you serve the king. You know what I mean? The king serves his people. It's like you're always a servant to someone. It's like the difference between the alchemist and your average folk is we try to determine who we're serving. We try to make the conscious choice of who we want to serve and how we want to dictate.
Exactly. And there's this book called The Laws of the Sun by Ryohu Okawa, and Ashira dropped it when they when she did her last book haul. So I got it on this place called Alibris Books, and where you can get hella cheap books there. It was a $25 book, but I got it for $1.95 plus
Wow,
$3.99
ground
shipping.
score.
And it was like, and it's fucking brand new, in brand new shape. And what that book goes into is the dimensions. He breaks them down so the average mind can understand them, like how the third dimension was created, and he tells you like basically you can tell what level of consciousness that you're
What book is
at,
this?
like the laws of the
The
sun.
laws of
I can go get it really
the
quickly.
laws of the sun. You don't. You can get it if you want, but I just wanted to write that down because that sounds like something useful, super useful.
Yeah, laws of the sun by Ryahu Ryho Okawa.
Dope. Oh yes. Oh, and I see it.
Um,
Like a Ruhu. He's only got 9 ratings on this thing. Published 2001. The first book of a trilogy.
it's a really good book. Like it goes into the dimensions so well. And what like page 40 is when it gets real deep. Page 40 is when he just slams you. That's when Ashira, when she talks about that book on her last book haul, she's reading like I can tell, okay, that's why she got this information from this page right here. From this area. I'm like, okay, that makes so much more
Uh
sense
huh.
now. Crazy knowledge.
Um. Damn. Damn.
It's like really, if you go to this place called Alibris Books, you can get it for like less than $10,
How do you
brand
spell
new.
that? B
Alibris.
R I S. Libris books.
Yep, Alibris.
Hell yeah.
They have they have so many cheap books there. Like they get their books sourced from like libraries and stuff like that, or places where they're selling the books
What a
cheap.
thought to get your books sourced at a library.
Thinking of like Goodwill.
For those of you that don't know, a
and
library is
libraries
a
that
big building with a bunch of books in it. You go in there, you have a library card, you sign it, and like you rent a book and you return it, and if you don't, you get fined like 25 cents. That's what a library is. For those of you unaware.
that's where I've been getting a lot of my books lately because of the price of the book. Like a lot, like if you get them on Amazon, you'll pay Amazon price, but if you get them here, you'll fucking save so much money. You'll be able to get like a cartload of
Hell yeah.
books.
I need to read all the books that I have already. I've got a stack of like 6 books that I haven't read any of them, but I leave them out. So I'm like, one of these days I'm going to read those books. Now that the coronavirus going around, everyone's got to stay home. Maybe this is the time for people to just fucking stack up on that knowledge.
Yeah, for real. That hermit mode. What did we say at the beginning of this year when you did that one reading? Hermit mode
Oh,
mastery.
fuck, that's right. We
2020.
did get that for the beginning of the year, didn't we? And it's funny.
Look what's
And
happening
someone
now.
in the comments, I didn't comment on it, but I will now. She said, where is it at? I am working on my Aries North node. I'm such a hermit lately. She said that probably 5 minutes ago. It's all coming true. Everyone stack up on that hermit. Going back to the hermetics right there is when the swing goes to a certain way, don't try to fight it. Utilize the swing. Transmute that shit. If everyone says stay home right now, don't stay home and slam fucking Netflix, which I'll probably do tonight. Make time at home for fucking reading and self-reflection and meditating and like spending time with the fam and planting a garden. Like set the roots down, you know.
Polarize yourself where you would like to be at.
Polarize yourself where you'd like to be, exactly.
Mm.
Dope, man. Well, I want to keep talking to you for like another 3 hours, but I gotta like go back to the fam. You've been on for a good 2 hours now. We got to get you back on because this was super nice. Yeah, about hour 50. We're going, man. It's a good time. But
It was a great
it
live.
was a great, yeah. It was a super good live. Is there anything? I guess give another recap of who you are and what you're doing, and keep it with under like 5 minutes. Hit me with like a 5-minute recap.
All right, so I'm Alchemy of Life, or you can call me Joseph if you want, Joe or Joseph. But I have my own YouTube channel. I'm part of the squad. You know, I've been part of the squad for a very, very long time. I mean, I remember, man, you did a live with a share, the first one you did, and that's how I found out about
Oh,
your
hell
channel.
no. Yeah, nice.
And when I started actually watching your channel, is when you started doing the readings by candlelight for the Emerald Tablets.
Dope.
And so yeah, you were at the end of that cycle, and I just like, man, I love the emerald tablets, so I, started. That's when I became a real member of the squad. I have my own Etsy shop, and that's in the description. I think Keith put it somewhere in the chat. But practice alchemy into the occult. I've been on this path for a pretty long time, and I have a video on my channel about how I got onto this path that I did maybe like.
Tell me the name of your channel.
My channel is called Alchemy of Life.
There you go, nice.
And so on YouTube, you'll see it. Salabi, she's on my channel, so she'll probably be able to direct you to it because she's always on there as well. Shout out to her, good friend. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would like to, give. I'm into alchemy. I'm an herbalist, garden. I make my own shit.
Oh, you're doing in the colloidal. This video is about the colloidal. Talking about your. So he makes his own colloidal. Oh no, you're not. He's studying the world of colloidal manufacturing. But you have a plug, right? Your buddy who's an alchemist.
Yeah, I've got a plug, and I have a few plugs that are very, very, very resourceful, and they're on the up and up, in this world of everybody trying to be on the same wave and just give you junk stuff. There's always that person out there that, oh, hey, I have this supplement and it's trash or bad.
I know, especially with this, man. It's like we're all trying to fucking go Super Saiyan, We're all trying to kill it. We're all trying to like excel and help the ones we love and whatnot, and people are just capitalizing on that. It's a bummer.
For real. Yeah. So
his links are in the description, you guys. So I'll post them in the comment after the video is done. Or actually, Alchemy, type up all your links in like a 2-sentence write-up on yourself and post it on the comment of this video after, and I'll pin it. So whenever someone comes to check out the video, it'll be yours, like your Etsy shop, your YouTube, your fucking book recommendations, like whatever you want people to know about you.
Yeah, okay. Definitely, I'll do that definitely after we get done. Random fact. Somebody who's really like high into this game, who like basically how we're on YouTube and we're kind of like mini lecturing or giving knowledge and wisdom. His name is Brother Panic.
I've come across him,
and he has immaculate wisdom. He was talking about polarity one day, and he pretty much summed it up as like, especially like when people get into arguments, every argument is correct because everything has a point.
Yeah.
Everything that has truth. That's one of the like greatest things I've come across with like the law of polarity. It's kind of got me like not arguing with people anymore because hey, your opinion's right, but so is mine.
Yeah. The idea is to find the middle ground where you two can coexist at the same time.
Exactly. Because think about like sports. They argue on sports center all day long.
Oh, I know. I know. And it's fun. Like, so I enjoy arguing, especially when it's with someone who's like going to accept a point. You're like, oh fuck, you know what? You're right. I see that. But and then dish out some knowledge where it's like, oh fuck, and it's like it's not so much arguing as I think who is it? Alan Watts says that he loves when people question him, or he loves getting into arguments and debates because it forces you to define yourself and like your position and your stance and how you believe the world to be.
Yeah, like contradicting yourself because like 12-year-old me contradicts 27-year-old me based upon my values then and now.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. Well said. So. Nice. All right. Well, unless you want to have anything else to say, we're gonna wrap it up. You good? You want to drop anything else?
Yeah, I'm good. I got nothing more right now.
Nice. All right. Well, with that being said, everybody, the only people who are dying of the coronavirus are those with the immune system, the immune compromised. So meditate, do your yoga, eat well, get plenty of sleep. Try not to stress out. Take your ashwagandha, keep your stress down at a minimal, hang out with the fam.
My store have 5G detox teas that'll keep your immune system crazy high.
Alchemy's got immune system support on his Etsy shop, which we've already slammed in both the description and the comment box at this point. Basically just shop / Alchemy of Life Co. You know what's dope? You have AOL and mine's MOL, Alchemy of Life, and Mad Letters.
For real.
AOL and MOL.
thought-
That's dope. What up? Nice. Let's fucking go, as MCQ says. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Everyone, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for supporting.
Everybody for having me. Thanks, Keith, for having me on the show. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for all the great questions. It was a great time. It went by quick.
It
but
did.
At the same time, it feels like we've been here forever. At the same time.
Well said.
It seems longer than it has. So it's only been an hour and a half, 2 hours. What?
It's like 2 hours in this lifetime. Maybe it was like 6,000 lifetimes prior to this. Nice. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon, and yeah, take it easy. All right, I'll text you, Alchemy, or message you, or we'll just keep in touch. We'll do this again. We'll slam another topic, hermetics or ancient Egypt or something.
For real, man. It was a great time. Peace.
Yeah, peace out, brother.